Start streaming. Here we go. Let's see here. What's up? How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Checking in. Got my keyboard set. You guys can see it right there. We're going to be talking about modes today, one of my favorite topics, which I haven't talked about in a long time. Those of you that have been following the channel for the last, 5 years or so. Is it 5 years? Well, it'll be 5 years in June. You know that I love to talk about modes. And modes are something that a lot of people don't understand. So a mode, you could say, is a subset of a scale. So you have these 5 parent scales, right? You have, or 6 parent scales, the major scale, melodic minor scale, harmonic minor scale, harmonic major scale, and double harmonic major scale. So there's 5 modes, 5 7-note scales that generate 7 modes apiece. So that's 35 different modes. And I'm not counting the Messiaen modes here. I'm not counting things like the diminished scale or the whole tone scale. I'm just talking about modes. We'll start with modes of the major scale. We'll talk about those, modes of the melodic minor, harmonic minor a little bit. And I want to talk to you about how to build chord voicings and how to use them for your compositions, okay? There's a discount code for today's live stream. You'll see this is a page out of the Beato book that I'll be referencing here. So my Beato book bundle, which is over 700 pages. So it's my Beato book, Instagram, YouTube transcription bundle. It's 700-page PDF, 700-plus page PDF, and it's 60% off. Billy's pasting it there in the chat. Coupon code is RB300. That's how you can follow along with this, and this is how you can support the channel. And it's 40% off the ear training, my Beato ear training course too. So you can also learn how to hear these things. So when you hear them, you're like, oh, I know what that is. That's Aeolian, that's Lydian, that's Mixolydian, that's Dorian, okay? We're going to talk about how to build these voicings and just an understanding of what notes are important in each mode to create the sound of that mode, okay? So I'm going to take this off the screen for, I'm going to leave it on the screen here so you can look at it. If I play a chord like this, right there, I only have 3 notes, but those 3 notes, if I add this 4th note, like that, that's really descriptive of the Lydian mode. That is the sharp 4. You can hear that note G. This is the note G there. And I have a D flat major triad with that sharp 4. And like I said, that's very descriptive of the Lydian mode. So how do you use that thing, just a little 4-note chord like that, to describe it? Well, a lot of this is about the context of it, right? If I have E flat major and then I go down to D flat major like there, I use that sharp 4 as a type of suspension, okay? So because those 2 chords are related, right? Anytime you have 2 major chords that are a whole step apart, that means they are the 4 and 5 chord. The 4 chord goes with the Lydian mode, okay? So the 5 chord in Mixolydian goes with the 5 chord, okay? So just that right there, E flat major triad, so it's just 3 notes. I drop it down, and I drop down to D flat, so I have D flat with a sharp 4. That's called the Lydian triad, just the root, the sharp 4 and 5. And then I did a suspension, C sus4, and it resolved it down to C major. This is a very simple, sounds like a film score, right? You can hear that. Just the very simple skeleton. E flat major, D flat sharp 4, D flat major, C sus4 to C major. I added that octave at the top there just to give it a little bit more, so in case it's going somewhere else, right? And I could go up to that would be a different. So there's other types of modes. If I play the sharp 4 and I add in the major third, there are other modes that would have that sharp 4 and the major third in there, like this. That's a sharp 5, okay? So that sharp 5 would come from the melodic minor scale. That would be Lydian augmented, okay? So just having 3 or 4 notes doesn't really give you the sound of the entire mode. You need a couple extra notes, which is how you create these voicings, right? So in order to create, let's say, a Lydian sound, you have to describe the chord a little bit with a little bit more information, okay? So let's say I were to take, let's say C Lydian, so it's really easy. So C Lydian is C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and then back to C, okay? So it's from the G major scale. It's the 4th mode. Okay, so you want to know that it's a major chord. So that's C, right? And then I need to know that it's got, if I add the 7th in there and the sharp 4, that's pretty descriptive of the whole sound. But like I said, you don't need all those notes. You want to know that it's major. Now, if I go to that right there, because I have a moving line, I'm giving you more notes to describe what the mode is. So I did. So right there, that little passage is obviously a C Lydian passage, okay? So all those notes put together, here it's like, okay, that's major chord. Oh, I hear the sharp 4, the F sharp in there. Then, okay, he's back to C major. Oh, okay, we're definitely in C Lydian there. And then when I went to this last sound here, this major 7, combined with all the rest of those notes that happened, that is a Lydian passage. And this is how you use these things for composing, right? So I am clearly using all the notes in the mode, but I'm creating a linear structure here, or a Lydian phrase, using just some simple thirds. Even that. Okay, so I'm just using thirds. Right? Now, if I were to take a mode, let's say Aeolian, okay, and I were to play this is one of my favorite Aeolian voicings. Any of you that have been watching this channel for a long time, this is a voicing I got from an Eidon improvisation. This would be an F Aeolian modal voicing. So I'm using the F Aeolian mode. So F, G, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat. There's your flat 6, E flat, and back to F. So the characteristic notes of Aeolian are the flat 3rd, because you have to know it's minor, and the flat 6. Okay, so what I like to do, the flat 6 really gives that Aeolian sound. What I like to do is look for where the half steps are in the mode, because those are the notes that describe the mode. So any of the modes in the major scale are going to have 2 half steps in it. So this Aeolian mode, F Aeolian, has a half step between the 2nd and flat 3rd, and between the flat 6 and the 5th. So right there, I know that's Aeolian there. Once I hear that, I'm like, okay, I hear the 2nd and flat 3rd, and then I hear that flat 6 and 5. But when I hear this whole thing together, wow. To me, that's really a beautiful, beautiful Aeolian sound, right? So it's like, well, where do you go? Where do you go from that? Whoa. So I'm kind of mixing modes there, right? I start in that F Aeolian. I went to B flat Aeolian eventually. Sorry, that's what I did. So I went, yeah, I went here. Or, I like that's better anyways. And then here's B flat Aeolian. Then I could go to, let's say, so I went from B flat Aeolian to G Lydian there. Okay, well, it's like, well, how do you know that's G Lydian? Well, let's see, the notes that I'm playing. Right there. So I've got G major, G, D, B. Then I have the sharp 4, the 6, 9, and 5th up on the top of the sound. That to me, that's a beautiful Lydian sound. So that Aeolian, B flat Aeolian to G Lydian is, I think it's just a beautiful move there, right? You hear that? Even if I went like this, you're watching watch the voicings, right? Okay, so what do I have in this? On this B flat Aeolian chord, I have the notes B flat, flat 6, flat 7. Okay, that's a flat 3rd. I don't even need, I can just have this. I think that sounds really good there. I've got 2 of the flat 6s, and then that is going to resolve up there. It's just good voice leading. Could do that. This is beautiful sounds there together. So it's like, okay, well, how do you know what notes to take? Like I said, look for the half steps in the mode, and those are where the important points are that really will give you the sound of the mode. Now, you can take huge voicings. So a voicing like that, that's a great Aeolian voicing, right? So I put E in the bass. I can put the 3rd. I can put the flat 6, 2nd, and then now if you orchestrate that throughout the entire orchestra, that's a massive sound. So you got the cellos and basses and octaves. The minor 3rd gives you the minor sound, then the flat 6, okay? But when I put this 2nd on there, that F sharp is the 2nd or the 9th. And then at the top of this, I would have the 2nd, 3rd, flat 7, and the 11, okay? So that's a huge E Aeolian voicing right there, right? That you could spread out across the entire orchestra. So it's about knowing where to put these notes. When I have that low octave in the 3rd, the minor 3rd, that grounds the chord right there, okay? It gives it that minor sound, even without the 5th. Now I could put I could put a straight E minor spread triad in the bass, and I could have those 2 notes, just C and F sharp, and that gives me the Aeolian sound. Or if I put C sharp and F sharp, you're like, whoa, what is that? Well, that's a Dorian sound, because this is a natural 6 and the 9th. Now you see that? If I use that, or okay, so I used, that would be like an E minor 7, then I drop to the natural 6, Dorian, then I drop to the flat 6 and the 2nd. So I'm mixing, that would be called modal mixture. I'm mixing Aeolian, or I'm sorry, Dorian, and then Aeolian together. So these modal sounds really, understanding what the notes in the mode are will enable you to use these things fluidly. Okay, I use that word in my Instagram. By the way, follow me on Instagram at RickBeato1 if you don't already. I talk about this stuff all the time on my Instagram. I do a lot of examples of these kind of things. And the discount code for today's live stream for the Beato book bundle, this is part of the Beato book that you're seeing right here, the 700-page PDF, RB300, 60% off. It's my biggest discount for that. It's how you support the channel and how you will understand this video, okay? So, if you take some other modes, like Phrygian, for example, it's like, okay, well, what would be a Phrygian sound? Well, Phrygian sound could be something like this. So what I have here is just G major over F sharp. That kind of gives you what F sharp Phrygian would be, mostly what it is. But you're like, well, that doesn't really give you that many notes, right? It gives you the root, the flat 2, the 4, flat 6, okay? So it's like, well, what about the third? What do you do about that? So the third here would be the note A. So if you look at that note A there would give you like a G add 9 over F sharp. But to me, that does sound like a G add 9. And I'd say that voicing sounds a little crowded there, right? So what I would do is I'd take maybe the A and put it up on the top like that. You don't, a lot of times if you have a whole step down low in a voicing, it sounds muddy. Half steps, whole steps, you have to be careful where you put seconds in there. But when I took that G add 9 and I took the A and moved it up the octave, it just opens up the sound a little bit. Okay, if I did it in the key of C, you'd probably, or let's say I did it in E Phrygian, it'd be easier to see because it's all white notes, right? Sorry, I did F major over E, but so these. Okay, so I'm using all the white notes because we know that E Phrygian is E in the bass and all the white notes. That's a beautiful sound though. So you got G, but really that flat 2 and flat 6 are really important. The flat 3 gives you the minor sound, but the flat 2 is really that Phrygian sound, right? Now, some of you are like, well, isn't Phrygian, wouldn't it be like, you know, well, that would be more like a Phrygian major sound, right? So you hear that E major instead of, that's more of a real Phrygian. The way I like to use Phrygian sounds are to use them, you know, describe the chord. They don't have to necessarily be in a chordal passage. If they're in a chordal passage, having that major is great, right? But that's just a different mode. That is a mode out of the harmonic minor scale, the Phrygian major. If I go down here, wait a second here, let's see. So here, harmonic minor mode, you'll see the fifth mode is Phrygian major. So Phrygian major is 1, flat 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, okay? The thing about Phrygian major is that a lot of people will call it Phrygian dominant, okay? And because it has a flat 7 on it, and a lot of people use it, has a major third, right? I call it Phrygian major but you can call it either thing, Phrygian dominant. It has a really specific sound, gives you more of that Spanish flavor. So you might be like, well, how do you use all this stuff? How do you remember it? Well, the thing is with these modes is that you have to memorize them. That's the thing. It's like you have to actually say, okay, Ionian is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dorian is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. So Dorian has a flat 3, flat 7. Phrygian has a flat 2, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. Lydian has a sharp 4, okay? Mixolydian has a flat 7. Aeolian has flat 3, flat 6, flat 7, and Locrian has flat 2, flat 3, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. Okay? You just memorize these basically. And this is how you become fluid with using these. You memorize them, and then you say, okay, let's see. If I have a, Dorian has the natural 6, all right, and the flat 3rd, so I might, that's Dorian sound right there. I've got the minor 3rd, the flats, or the natural 6, and the 2nd, or the 9th, right? That is like a real Dorian sound. Well, this could be a Dorian sound too. This is a different kind of a Dorian sound. This would be an A Dorian sound. Now you can see there's a structure here. This is a G major 7 sus 4. That would be G major 7. That's G major 7 sus 4 over A. Will give you a Dorian sound. That's real Dorian sound there. You hear that? Flat 3rd, flat 7, 6, right? Okay, so all these modes have very, very obvious characteristics that you will recognize, even if they were used like I did at the beginning. To me, understanding these modal voicings, modal lines is really the key to opening up your compositions. These same things can be used on the guitar, on any instrument. You can improvise using these notes. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. You can improvise using these same ideas. Once you know where these modal, these important notes are that differentiate one mode from the next, you can use these things to improvise and create these modal sounds. So when I'm playing the guitar and I'm playing a particular sound, a series of notes, I can describe a mode in a series of notes, right? So let's say I have my, here. Don't do this at home. Where's the pick here, Billy? Okay. So let's say I've got this, hopefully we're, right there. Here's this chord right here. Let me get rid of the keyboard. So if I got C, add 9. If I go like this, that adds a sharp 4 there. It's got the 9th and the sharp 4. That's definitely a Lydian sound. So that's C. That's a C Lydian improvisation right there. I described Lydian. right? That, to me, that's a really beautiful sound if you can describe Lydian. Or let's say I have Aeolian, right? Something. That's obviously an Aeolian sound, right? Or Dorian. There's Dorian sound. I'm using that minor third, natural 6, flat 7. Now, if I were to play this on the keyboard, I'm a little bit. Any of you that saw my perfect pitch video, saw me play my G chord. I tuned up the guitar, it was dead on in tune, and then I played G, and my B string was slightly sharp, because on Gibsons like this, you have to tune the B string down a little bit on this guitar so that G chord is in tune, right? So let's say, again, I play A minor, so I'm going to play a Dorian sound. So that natural 6 is the sound of Dorian, right? You have to have that flat third in there. I just love that. So I use modes all the time to describe things, to play. If I want to play a resolution from C7 to F major 7, right? I might do. So here's my C altered. There's F major 7, right? Okay, so I'm thinking modally there. C altered. F Ionian. F Lydian. That would be F Lydian sound. So using modes, you can create all these colors in your improvisations, in your compositions. Thinking modally is really important. And how do you do that? By getting my Beato book and memorizing all this stuff. There are no shortcuts to this, right? I sit down, I literally, well, I don't do it anymore, but when I was, hold on, So here's my chart, right? Major scale modes. You can see it on there. You look at it, you're like, okay, well, print out that page, look at it, and go, okay, well, what's the thing? Okay, well, the Ionian I get, it's 1 through 7, nothing, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so what do I do to the major scale to get the Dorian mode? Well, I flat the third, and then I flat the 7. So that would be C Dorian. Then, okay, it's like Phrygian. What do? You flat the 2, flat the 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. So all you do is you take one root and then go and practice all the different scale steps. Memorize them. Once again, Ionian, 1 through 7. Dorian, flat 2, flat 7. Phrygian, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. Lydian, sharp 4, Mixolydian, flat 7, Aeolian, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. Wait, did I say Phrygian, flat 2, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7? I think I made a mistake. Sorry. And then Locrian, flat 2, flat 3, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7, right? So a lot of these are just one note change between these, but that note that's changed, between Aeolian and Dorian are important notes, right? If I have, what was I doing before? I'm trying to think of the key I was in, right? So I did, I can't remember what key I was playing in before, but, yeah, oh, it was an E, that's right. Okay, so I did, there's that natural 6. I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely Dorian. That's got a flat 6 and a 9th in it. Okay? I put the 3rd in there, then you really know it's minor. Aeolian and Dorian. Beautiful sounds, though. All right, and then if I go to Phrygian, that's cool, right? All those different E minor sounds, right? Dorian, Aeolian, Phrygian. So that's called modal mixture. I just have one tonic and I'm using multiple modes over it. I used all these different minor modes, right? I used Dorian, I used Aeolian, I used Phrygian, I go to Locrian. And we're not even to the melodic minor scale or the harmonic minor scale. You get in the melodic minor scale, you get beautiful Lydian augmented, right? To Aeolian. I love that, right? That would be F Lydian augmented to E Aeolian, right? Beautiful, beautiful sounds. And you write lines. I mean, I'm limited by what I'm playing here because I'm trying to grab that whole sound. Oh, you can't even see. I got to bring up my keyboard here. Let me see this here. There's my keyboard. So let me do that again. F Lydian augmented. Let me get my the other thing out of the way here so you can see it. There we go. F Lydian augmented to E Aeolian, right? Or it could be that would be like a D Phrygian to C sharp Aeolian to C Lydian, right? So they're D Phrygian, C sharp Aeolian, C Lydian, then could be to B Dorian, or it could be, I could have gone C Lydian down to F Lydian augmented to A Dorian, wow, to A flat Lydian augmented to, well, this could, you have to add some of these notes and define these sounds. You start hearing these, you're like, wow, that sounds amazing, right? This is modal. This is how you use modes for composition. Anyways, discount code RB300, 60% off my Beato book bundle. It's got all this stuff you need to know, 700 plus pages, probably 750, Billy, something like that. Yeah. 60% off. That's my biggest discount that I've done. 40% off my Beato ear training course. The ear training course is the same kind of thing. It teaches you to recognize these sounds. How do you recognize these modal sounds? How do you recognize triads? How do you recognize any of the extensions? Is it a 6? Is it a flat 6? Is it a natural 9, a flat 9? You know, these things are really important. Thank you, James. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody with the super chats. Really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Come back and watch this video. Don't forget, you can back it up. You can stop it. You can slow it down. Actually, if you slow it down, is it still in the right key, Billy? Yeah, right?
Be, yeah.
Yeah. You guys are awesome.